Okay, so you know that feeling when you finish a movie and you're just completely lost, but at the same time, totally mesmerized? Well, if you've ever had that feeling, chances are you've seen David Lynch's Mulholland Drive. It's this beautiful, totally baffling masterpiece that's basically designed to be a puzzle. So today, let's see if we can find the key and unlock it together. Man, this quote it absolutely nails it, right? Watching this film feels exactly like you're looking at this perfectly assembled machine, but none of the parts seem to actually belong together. Every single shot, every line of dialogue, it all feels so important. But when you try to put it all together, the big picture it doesn't add up. And that's the point. It's an intentional, beautiful, and, yeah, deeply frustrating enigma. And that is the real mystery, isn't it? Think about it. This film breaks literally all the rules of normal storytelling. And yet, in 2016, a massive BBC poll named it the best film of the 21st century. So how on earth does it pull that off? What is the secret hidden inside this cinematic puzzle box? All right, so first things first, forget the Hollywood you think you know. The world of Mulholland Drive, it's not about glitz and glamour. No, it's a surreal, deeply unsettling, and honestly, often terrifying fever dream. It's a place where something is always just deeply wrong, right under that sunny surface. Okay, let's get into the structure because this is the first thing that throws absolutely everyone for a loop. It feels like you're watching one movie, right? And then about two-thirds of the way in, bam, David Lynch just flips a switch and suddenly you're watching a completely different, much darker film. Understanding why he does that, well, that's our first real key to solving this whole thing. So, for most of the film, we're following this character, Betty Elms. She's sweet, she's super talented, a really optimistic newcomer to Hollywood. Then, all of a sudden, she's just gone. And in her place, we get Diane Selwyn, a bitter, devastated, failed actress living in this total dump. They're both played by the amazing Naomi Watts, but they are polar opposites. So the big question is, what happened to Betty, and who on earth is Diane? And you know, that whole first part of the movie with Betty, it's just bathed in this warm, golden, dreamlike glow. It's the absolute perfect Hollywood fantasy, you know? The small town girl comes to the big city and is instantly like destined for stardom. It all feels, well, it feels a little too perfect, doesn't it? Almost like a dream. Well, there's a good reason for that. It is too good to be true. See, to unlock this thing, we don't need complicated plot diagrams. We need to look at psychology. Specifically, we need to understand how our minds work when we're asleep. And this is where, believe it or not, Sigmund Freud becomes super useful for breaking down a movie. His idea of wish fulfillment, that's the master key to Mulholland Drive. Freud basically said that dreams aren't just random nonsense. No. They're the place where our unconscious minds go to live out all our secret desires, to fix our real-life mistakes, and become the person we desperately wish we were. And here it is. This is the big reveal. That whole happy, perfect story about Betty, it's not real. It's an elaborate, idealized dream. And the person dreaming it is the real main character, Diane Selwyn. Betty is everything Diane wishes she was. Talented, loved, successful. That whole first chunk of the movie is just her mind's desperate escape from a truly miserable reality. Okay, so if we accept that it's all a dream, suddenly we can start to decode its weird logic. See, nothing in Diane's dream is random, not a single thing. Every strange character, every bizarre event is a distorted symbol pulled straight from her real and very traumatic waking life. Freud had a term for this: latent content. Basically, the stuff we actually see in the dream, that's just the surface level. It's all symbols for deeper hidden meanings. It's like Diane's brain takes all the people, objects, and places from her real life and recasts them in a new play, the play that tells the story she wishes was true. And maybe the most powerful example of this is that mysterious blue box and key. In the dream, it feels like part of some old-school noir mystery, but in reality, oh, it's a symbol for something so much darker. It represents the absolute finality of Diane's decision to hire a hitman to kill her ex-lover, Camilla. Opening that box, that's her crossing a psychic point of no return. It's her own personal Pandora's box, and her guilt is what's waiting inside. So once you have this little Freudian toolkit, you start to see these patterns everywhere. Betty, of course, is the ultimate wish fulfillment. The huge, complex trauma of a murder-for-hire plot, that gets condensed down into a simple, single symbol, the box and key. And all of that crippling real-life dread and guilt Diane feels, it gets displaced onto that terrifying figure behind the Winky Steiner. Her guilt literally becomes a monster in her dream. But wait, there's more. The film isn't just a psychological puzzle. It's also deeply postmodern, which I know sounds like a fancy academic term, but really all it means is that the film is constantly messing with us, asking one simple question over and over. What is even real? And honestly, what better place to ask that than Hollywood? So there's this really cool idea called hyperreality. It's where the line between what's real and what's a simulation totally dissolves. And Mulholland Drive is the ultimate hyperreal movie. I mean, it's a film about making films, set in a city that literally manufactures dreams for a living. So is what we're watching supposed to be real? Is it a dream? Or is it just a scene from some other movie being filmed? The film deliberately makes it impossible to tell. And you can spot these postmodern tricks all over the place. The movie borrows from old film noir, from surrealism. It's like a collage. It absolutely refuses to give you one single neat answer. And you know those weird kind of stilted, almost phony performances in the dream section? That's totally on purpose. It's the film winking at you, constantly reminding you, hey, you're watching a movie. None of this is real. Okay, now here's a wild piece of behind-the-scenes info that explains so much. This fragmented feeling, it wasn't totally planned from the start. The film actually began its life as a TV pilot for the ABC network, but the execs, they hated it. They rejected it, leaving Lynch with all these dangling plot threads and unresolved subplots. So what did he do? In a move of pure genius, he took all those dead ends and wove them into the movie, making them part of the illogical, surreal dream. He literally turned a production disaster into an artistic masterpiece. So, we've talked about all these big ideas, dream theory, postmodernism, but how does Lynch actually make the film feel so unique and so incredibly unsettling? Well, the secret ingredient, his special sauce, is his mastery of something called the uncanny. The uncanny is that feeling you get when something is familiar, but at the same time it's just off. And Lynch is a master of this. He'll film a totally normal diner conversation, but the camera will float in this weird, unnatural way. The actor's smiles will be just a little too wide, a little too perfect. And underneath it all, you'll hear this deep, throbbing, rumbling sound that puts you on edge, making you feel like something awful is about to happen, even when it's just two people talking. This is the Lynchian aesthetic in a nutshell. He loves showing you that perfect, smiling, picket fence surface of American life, and then slowly peeling it back to reveal all the darkness and rot underneath. He finds horror in the most mundane things, and he's obsessed with showing how that beautiful Hollywood dream machine can absolutely chew people up and destroy them. And if you're looking for the one moment where the film basically tells you its secret, it's the Club Silencio scene. This magician gets on stage, looks almost directly at us, and says, "No hay banda. There is no band. It is an illusion." I mean, he's basically spelling out the entire thesis of the movie right there. Everything you're seeing, everything Hollywood sells, even the film you're watching, it's all an illusion. So in the end, that fragmented, confusing, dreamlike narrative, it's not a flaw, it's not a mistake, it is the entire point. The structure of the film perfectly mirrors the psychological breakdown of Diane, a woman who was completely chewed up and spat out by the very dream machine she worshipped. It's not random at all. It's a brilliant and devastating critique of what happens when those Hollywood dreams turn into absolute nightmares. But you know, even with this whole dream theory, the film doesn't give you all the answers. Not even close. And David Lynch himself, he refuses to explain it, which leaves us with one last big question. By creating a puzzle that has no official solution, is Lynch trying to tell us that the final meaning of a story isn't up to the person who made it, but up to us, the audience? Something to think about.